look at something we don't typically cover, a phone and a tablet made by a company called BLU. BLU is beginning to build momentum in developing markets such as Latin America, and has managed to keep a pretty low profile in the US. Recently, the company's cranked out a couple nice additions to its lineup, the BLU Studio 5.3 and the TouchBook 7. We're going to take a look at it today. When we first looked at the Studio and its 5.3-inch screen, our very first thought was Curve Galaxy Note. And obviously the resemblance is uncanny. Those components, cost, and intended demographic are vastly different. For instance, the Studio supports dual SIMs and runs stock Gingerbread. It runs on an 800 MHz single-core MediaTek processor and has 512 MB of RAM. It also offers a 5 megapixel camera with LED flash, 480p video capture, and a VGA front-facing camera. It uses a WVGA display, which is definitely not as good as the Note's HD Super AMOLED panel, but it was better than we expected. BLU made a few interesting design choices with the Studio. In addition to the front-facing camera and LED notification light on the front, the Studio also has the standard 4 capacitive buttons underneath the display, as well as a physical home button that essentially does the same thing as the soft home key that's already on the phone. On the left side, you'll find a button that locks the screen orientation alongside the volume rocker. The upper edge of the device houses the 3.5mm headphone jack, the screen lock button, and micro USB charging port. Prying open the soft touch plastic battery cover reveals the open micro SD slot as well as the dual SIM card. The Studio is going for around $260 through online retailers, and while it can't go head to head against a powerhouse like the Note, it's still a pleasant budget device with a huge screen. Even though its performance isn't going to wow anybody, it worked quite well for its price range and intended market, and the phone doesn't feel like it was cheaply made at all. Now, the TouchBook 7.0 is a Curve Galaxy Tab. No, not any of the new ones. We're talking the original Samsung Galaxy Tab. It offers a lot of strikingly familiar design elements, and it's running Froyo. That's right, stock Android 2.2. For a tablet that was released at the end of 2011, that's a hard pill to swallow. It's powered by an 800 MHz single-core processor, 512 MB of RAM, and has a 3.2 megapixel rear camera and VGA front-facing camera. The upper edge offers a volume rocker and power button, while the bottom houses the headphone jack and microSD card slot. Now over on the left, you'll find the SIM card slot and the proprietary charger, which oddly reminds us of the magnetic chargers on the MacBook. We didn't mind using the tablet as it performed to our expectations for its price range, and is surrounded by soft touch plastic, lending to a more durable feel. And for a $230 tablet with no contract attached, it's not like you'll be that paranoid about dropping it either, frankly. Our concern with the TouchBook, however, is that other tablets in the budget category have better components and newer versions of firmware. All in all, this was our first real look at anything made by BLU, and we have a feeling it won't be the last. If its latest offerings are any indication, BLU's working hard to leave an impression on the budget market in the US, and we'll be keeping a close eye on its progress. Once again, this is Brad with Engadget, and you can check out our full hands-on at Engadget.com.